Absolutely. So welcome to everybody. It is time for some Monday webinar activity. Let's chat about some of these setups we have. Uh, so we're just talking about my RV that I got and how we're going to turn it into the turn it into the ultimate trading mobile office for beach friendly trading. Adrian, cool link. Okay, I'm going to check that right out. I'll definitely check that out. So I'm getting some good suggestions for everybody here. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Yes. Well, yes-ish, Mel. Yeah. I will a little bit. I'll discuss some of that as well. Absolutely. Okay, but what we want to talk about definitely is what we're looking for this week and some of the news that we have. Remember, if you are new to the group or just sitting in to see what we're all about, you can get a free trial to the trade group right here, daytradersfx.com/join. Forgive me for a little extra noise outside. Excuse me. It is so hot inside of my house. I have to have a window open because I'm working from my home office this afternoon. I go to my regular office in the morning, and by the afternoon I come back, and it is just a scorcher upstairs. So be a little bit of noise, but hopefully you'll be able to hear some of everything. So we'd love to have you for a free trial. Come check it out. daytradersfx.com/join. You can get a free trial for this whole entire week and see how we trade, especially with all of this news coming up. And we have quite a bit of news coming up. We have things such as we've already seen a little bit of this. FOMC, one of the members spoke this morning. Nothing too exciting on a Monday. We have seen a bit of movement. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Tuesday, we have lots of news. Carney speaking. We have consumer confidence for the U.S. That's a decent mover. We have some New Zealand and Australian news. Wednesday, we have our ADP news, which is a little reminder that we have non-farm payroll this week as well. We have some GDP numbers for Canada. Yellen speaks, blah, blah, blah. It just goes on and on. We have manufacturing numbers. We have retail sales for Australia. And then we will have a live session for U.S. employment numbers on Friday. So I'll invite everybody to that. And we'll have a couple of live sessions with some of this stuff as well. So it should be pretty exciting. Mel, I hope some El Nino hits because I'm sweating it out a little bit too much. So that's our news for what we have coming up this week. We also have a lot of crazy activity that's happened today. Gold dropped a bunch. Gold's been up and down and all over the place. Oil's down just a little bit, which I'm always a fan of. The Dow closed 313 points down. S&P closed 49 points down. Everything took a pretty big dip today. The thing I love to say the most is if we have a down day today, we're going to have an update tomorrow. If we have an update today, we're going to have a down day tomorrow, which is pretty much how it's been going. We've just had these up and down, wild and crazy swings, and I don't think that's over by any means, especially with some non-farm payroll that we have going on this week. I'm going to talk about just a couple of pairs that I think are going to be interesting. We made some pretty good money on the euro dollar last week. We made some good money on the euro CAD last week. We made some good money on the New Zealand yen last week. Euro pound was a great mover. Dollar yen was up and down and all around. We had some really great trades last week. And we're kind of changing the format of how the trades are going to go. I've been very lockstep with buy here, sell here, that's it. And now we're moving a little bit more to a charting situation where I show the setup on the chart and the exact where to get in, where to get out, all of that stuff. And I think that's going to give us a lot more freedom of trades. You know, you can pick and choose the trades you want to take a little bit more, and have some more information about why the trade is happening and how that's going. I'll show more about that. I want to dedicate this portion a little bit to the setups, and so I'll talk more about that for group members. But we have a new kind of, I think, improved way of getting trades going, and I think it's going to give us a lot more trades to take as well. Okay, so here's what I'm looking at for euro dollar as of this current moment. We've been talking about the euro dollar quite a bit. I'm looking at this trend line. This trend line I think is pretty key because I'm still looking at the euro dollar to hit 11100, 11050. I'm still waiting for that to happen, and I'm optimistic that we're going to see it happen. Um, so the euro dollar made a nice little run up, moved higher. We've got a little bull flag right here, so there's going to be a short-term trade to take in here. This is a decent-sized bull flag. Don't be fooled. There's 100 pips there on that bull flag, which means that puts us at a price projection of 113.25.30 area. So the euro dollar may have a little bit more push left in it. If it starts to break highs of last week, and specifically this 23% fib zone again, getting back up above 11300, then I'm going to be, getting long euro dollar, and I'll be trading this little tiny bull flag right here. I think it's going to be exciting. But I'm still ultimately looking for the euro dollar to make that dip down into 11100 and even a little bit below 11100. Test this trend line and then make a bigger run up. It's really been in this channel very nicely. It's kind of in the middle of the channel, which makes it a little bit of a tricky one to trade sometimes. That little bull flag is going to be a nice little addition to everything. But looking for that 11100, 11050, and then a move from there up into the 113, 114, 118 kind of 100 zones. So that's what I'm watching for. So little tiny bull flag to trade here, but ultimately a bigger dip, and a buy of that dip is what I want to see on euro dollar this week. So I'm going to be buying big dips, or just buying a little bull flag. We'll kind of see how it ends up. Those are my two options for the week on that euro dollar. Pound dollar. Pound dollar is an interesting one because it has just been getting slammed. The pound dollar has been getting hammered and hammered all last week. It made a nice recovery. There we go. Made a nice recovery a couple weeks ago after this. It had this big slide, then a nice recovery, and then it's just back into the big slide mode. And we have some pretty interesting, crazy, fantastic support down here at about 151.65 that seems to be holding very well. So the pound dollar's back down here. We hit this level, tried to make a bullish candle, didn't really get much. It did close, as a bullish candle, but the next one has opened and the slide has started again. So I'm going to be watching this pound dollar and keeping an eye on this channel. I'm not very interested in trying to trade any kind of a bounce here because it's shown to be pretty weak for the moment. So if we start getting breaks above this little trend line right here, and we start getting above about 152.00, then I'll start looking at opportunities to get long pound dollar. Otherwise, I may just end up doing something very, very simple and trading the break of 151.65 area where we're kind of just sitting right now. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that and looking for any opportunities to get in short below this whole big support area. I think we've got a nice opportunity there. So there's going to be a nice little short-term to possibly long-term pound dollar trade going through that zone. And then we're going to keep an eye on this channel. We're slowly getting to an interesting point on the 1 hour chart. We're about 110 candles since the last time we touched the 200 moving average. We have a weekly pivot up here around 15300. So again, we start getting above about 15200, and I'm going to be looking for opportunities to trade this up to about 15300. So that is what I'm going to keep an eye on with pound dollar. I haven't done much trading on the pound dollar as of late, but I think there's going to be some pretty good activity coming here. So especially with big U.S. news and so on, that should make it pretty interesting. We had a fantastic trade on the on the Euro CAD last week. We bought at the break of this falling wedge right here, and it just went through the moon. And now it's just been all over the place. I almost like looking at the Euro CAD 4 hour chart because it looks so ridiculous. You can just see that every week is like a freak out on this pair. And so I like it, but I'm waiting for some slightly better setups and a little more clarity on that one. So I'm liking Euro pairs quite a bit, but there's a few that we're going to be a little extra cautious on. And Sharon, yes, I will always be sending out mobile trade alerts. Absolutely. Yep. Okay, so here's another one that I think is looking pretty. This is a good looking trade. This is Aussie New Zealand. I've been long of the opinion that the New Zealand has been oversold and the New Zealand dollar is starting to make a bit of a comeback. I'm not looking for any kind of extended comeback on the New Zealand dollar, but just some pullbacks into the 200 moving averages and so on. We had a nice little move on the Euro New Zealand, which was incredibly overbought. And New Zealand took its way back to the 200 moving average and hit that target, and it was just beautiful and glorious and all that stuff. And New Zealand yen gave us a fantastic, huge trade last week. So we're definitely looking at these New Zealand pairs to trade a little bit towards New Zealand strength for just a little bit longer, and then we're resorting back to probably some New Zealand weakness. Um, so Aussie New Zealand is a great little trade. There is a lot of good support at about 10900. I like this 10900 area. There's a 200 moving average sitting right there. There's a multi-month low. There's the low of this channel the last 4 months. 108 or 10900 is excellent, and I'll be buying the dip off of this support level here shortly. You can see that we're still about 160 pips away. We're sitting around 110.60, but I think a nice little dip here will be a great opportunity to get into this and trade it back up to the top of this channel and potentially back out of that. And Bruce, yeah, Aussie New Zealand's a good one. Usually a pretty good one for the trade manager. So yes, it should be pretty safe for the most part with trade manager. Yeah, absolutely. Euro New Zealand, not as much, but this one definitely is a good one. Okay, so Aussie New Zealand buying that dip around 10900. I love that. I am very much gung ho on dollar yen. This is my note from last week, and I totally missed this trade myself. I completely missed it. I even posted this chart in the trade group early last week as well, and I talked about, hey everybody, let's short the dollar yen at 12100, and then I did not do it. I did not do it for whatever ridiculous reason. I did not get into it. Good, Scott. Good. And a lot of people did get into it, which makes me happy because at least some people have benefited from my lack of just not taking this trade for whatever reason. I don't know why. But last week I said 12100. I want to be short. You can see that it topped out at 121.20 and proceeded to drop 150 pips. And yeah, remember I ended up falling asleep, Scott. I was snoozing. I was snoozing at my computer. So yeah, so I missed that one, but I'm still looking. We're basically sitting at 120. We're 100 pips away. I am shorting dollar yen on any runs up here. If I see 120.100 again, I'm absolutely going to get into this. If I see 120.50, I might put a small trade on with some stops above some of these highs, 12200 area. I want to get in short dollar yen again, and I think we're going to have plenty of opportunities. We have a bunch of news coming out this week, and that usually makes the dollar yen spike a good bit. So if that does end up spiking quite a bit, hopefully we'll get a spike up, and that'll give us a nice opportunity to get into this dollar yen short and then trade this thing down to 116.50 is ultimately my target, and then some. But I think we've got some even better opportunities if we get a little bit higher, so we can trade that down to that 117, 116.50 zone. So I love dollar yen. I want to short dollar yen at a higher price. It sounds like a broken record. You could probably replay this portion of last week's webinar and you could hear me say that, and then we can see this chart. I'm crossing my fingers that I get another opportunity for a spike up and an opportunity an entry, just anything closer to 120 than we currently are. So I love that. Here's a quick look at Euro Pound. Euro Pound looks good. We talked about this one last week. This was a trade group trade, and it actually just played out like a champ. And it still is giving us another opportunity here. So the trade group trade was buy the dip on this trend line. You can see that it continued to go down 30 plus pips, but then it's right back up again. I like being long Euro Pound. I like being long Euro Pound a pretty good amount. This is a bull flag on a daily chart, which is a big deal. That is a 380 pip flagpole, which means we can project out from our lowest point right here, 380 pips. And what's our lowest point? 71.95. We'll just call it 7,200. So that puts us all the way up around 70, 75 area. And so this is still a fantastic opportunity. If we get a dip down to 73.50, buy the heck out of that thing. If we get a break above 74.15, buy the heck out of it. Euro pound, I like euro pound long, and I want to be long euro pound this week as much as humanly possible. I may put some ridiculous trade sizes on there. If you hear me crying on next Monday's webinar, it's because the euro pound went down. But I'm going to go in big on this one and just see if we can get a good push on it, and I think we're going to be able to. So euro pound looks really fantastic. We're still wanting to get short euro yen. I'll just say that really quick. We want to get short pound yen after some nice pullbacks. Here was that beautiful euro New Zealand that ran down and hit our 200 moving average on the nose, and then just did a quick little turnaround of 325 pips or so. No problem. But it finally hit that incredibly overbought 4-hour chart. Took that puppy out. Same thing with pound. New Zealand, and those just looked excellent. So I'm going to be doing a lot on the yen pairs as much as possible this week. We're going to be trading the euro pound bull flag, looking to get long. We're going to be buying dips on Aussie New Zealand, looking to get long on that one as well. We're going to be possibly buying pound dollar above 150.200. Otherwise, we're going to be shorting it below about 150, 165-ish or so. And then we'll be looking for a little bull flag on the euro dollar to play out, just this little 1-hour bull flag. Otherwise, we're looking for a dip. We may end up with a buying or a short opportunity to short this and sell it down to that 11100. But I still want to see this get down to 11100, 11050 before I buy it and trade it on up. You never know, though. This bull flag right here could be the thing that takes us up to 11800 without any amount of pullback. So that's something to keep an eye on with this euro dollar. So we're going to be trading all of these, and we're going to be trading them in the group. I'm going to be in the group a lot more this week than I have been in previous weeks. We've had some slow summers, and we've had some of that stuff. I'm doing nothing this week other than being in the trade group and surfing. That is my week to the fullest degree. So I'm going to be in the trade room mucho this week. And just pumping out trade ideas like nobody's business. So this would be a good week to jump in and join us and see what you think, and then we'll hopefully have some fantastic trades this week, and then we'll finish the week off with a live session for non-farm payroll, which is my least favorite news announcement, but we have made some pretty good money on that one, and I'm counting on making some good money again this Friday. So I'll probably be doing that from Napa in my RV because I will be up there on Friday. But we should have some good internet and it'll be exciting. So I'm looking forward to that. But live session for that, lots of good activity. Questions, comments, let me know. I'm going to get this video posted. And I want to answer a couple of questions here. There's some good questions. Let's run over those details and see how it all goes.